Hello and welcome to another chapter in our Dom Scupoli's Spiritual Combat. Welcome to Swords of St. Michael Network. We present a variety of videos here, if you're new, that contain all sorts of information about demonology, ghostology, spiritual warfare, spiritual combat, according to the Catholic Church teachings and based on our own experience. So sit back, relax. We're about to get started and read ourselves right into this journey. If you've been following along, I'm hoping you brought your notebook, so give us a like. And don't forget to subscribe. Swords of St. Michael Network is dedicated to helping those in spiritual warfare, exorcism, healing, and deliverance. And this whole series has been on exorcising our own personal demons, as well as rooting out vice and getting us ready for chapter 62. This is all about Momento Mori. Momento Mori meaning remember death. From ashes you came, from dust, and to ashes we will return. So in this chapter, we're going to explore what that means. So put me on pause, grab your iced tea, your popcorn, whatever it is you need. Give us a like, give us a thumbs up. Check out our links below and above to support our lay ministry. And I will be praying us in now. In nomine Patri et Filio et Spiritus Sanctus, sic erat in principio et nunc et semper et saecula saeculorum. Sancta Michael Arcangele, defende nos in prelio contra nequitiam insidis diaboli est presidium. Imperidi Deo supplicis de peccamur tuque, princeps maletia celestis et animaliosque spiritus malignos, qui ad perditionem animarum perverantur in mundo divina virtute et in infernum detrude. Amen. Our study prayer by St. Thomas Aquinas. Concede mihi misericordia Deus, qui tibi placita, sud ardenter consuspicere prudententer, investigare, reciter, agnoscere, et perfecte ad laudem et gloriam nominus tui. Amen. The Spiritual Combat and a Treatise on Peace of Soul, Dom Lorenzo Scupoli. Chapter 62, concerning our preparation against the enemies who assail us at the hour of death. Although our entire life on earth is a continual warfare, it is certain that the last day of battle will be the most dangerous. For he who falls on this day falls never to rise again. In order, therefore, to be prepared, we must prepare ourselves now. For he who fights well through life will, with greater facility, emerge victorious in that final assault. Meditate, too, on death, considering its significance, for such consideration will remove the terror that strikes when death is nigh, and give your mind greater freedom for the combat. Worldly men cannot stand the thought of death. They refuse to think of it lest they be distracted from the earthly pleasures in which they have placed their affection. The thought of losing transient things is naturally repugnant and painful to one who is oblivious to eternal things. Thus the affections of worldlings are more firmly riveted to this world day by day, and day by day, the contemplation of the loss of worldly things strikes increased terror, most frequently into the hearts of those who have enjoyed worldliness the longest. In order to be prepared for the awesome step from time into eternity, imagine yourself sometime all alone, in the face of the agonies of death, and consider the things that would most likely trouble you at that very hour. Then imprint deeply into your heart the remedies I shall propose to be employed when the situation is at hand, For the blow that can be struck but once should be well rehearsed, as a final error means an eternity of regret and misery. Memento Mori. We're going to swing it out of the ballpark because this is far too important. This is, I think, one of the most important chapters in this book. Very few of us prepare for death. Very few of us won't even think about it. I know when Ken died, neither one of us were ready for it. Neither one of us had even talked much about it. We discussed it a little bit and kind of on the periphery of things. However, I know where he's at. I know with all my heart where he's at. Now, I don't know, but I'm telling you, that man was holy. More holy than I don't think I'll be. He loved God with a love so amazingly pure. However, we're talking about you and I. We're talking about getting ready, preparing ourselves. So let's get our little journals out. Now, there's 2 levels, level 1 and level 2. A little bit easier. And those of you who already have a regular spiritual practice, and I want to tell you that for both of us, this is far too important for us to delineate a greater or a lesser capacity to contemplate the reality of death and the situation of what we're going to be facing at that final minute. So let's get our journals out and let's get started, because when we think about what we're going to miss and all the things that we can't take with us, and we think about all the things, people that love us, the things that we've worked our entire lives for, gone, completely gone. What are we going to be holding on to? If God stopped this broadcast right now, boom, asteroid hits, what would you miss the most right now? Who would you like to call? Who? What do you regret not doing? Who do you regret not loving? These are the things that are going to be thrown at us from every single angle, because the devil is going to pull everything at you and show you how worthless you are and how stupid you were and all the things. And everybody's going to be enjoying everything you've got, and everybody's going to be just so happy dividing the spoils of your death. You are going to be assaulted before those hours as never before. You want to make sure that your hold on your faith and the foot of the cross is not going to be ever let go, is not going to loosen. So let's get our papers and pencils out, because this is really good. The chapter tells us that we really need to be careful, and we need to think about, how are we going to face death? How are we going to react to our deaths? How are we going to respond to our deaths? You know, none of us knows till we actually get there. We just don't know. We'd like to think that, yes, I'm going to be strong. I'm going to be brave. I'm going to be, as one of my best friends says, Deb Johnson, it is what it is. And she kept praying and kept praying and kept praying. And in a way, this is the attitude of a woman who prayed every day of her life for a long time, invested a lot of time in prayer. None of us are perfect. None of us will reach that ultimate perfection that we think we can, that some saints have. However, we will do our best in walking toward heaven together by following the examples of the saints, by following the examples of those who have conquered all their vices. And this is a big one, contemplating death. Instead of fearing it, which most of us have been taught all our lives, oh my gosh, Nobody wants to even imagine the suffering that can be involved before we die. It could be horrendous. It could last years. And there is this saying that God gives his toughest lessons to those he loves the most, because they have the greatest witness to give. What will ours be? What can we do to prepare for that battle? As we get our journals out and we look at the most important way, we need to start by making a list. Because this will get us contemplating death. And this is what the chapter exhorts us to do. We have to think about this. And the next few chapters are going to take us a little bit deeper, but this is how we're going to prepare ourselves this week, just to think about it. And we can do this every night. This is going to be up to you. I'm going to do this every night because I know if I really search myself and I pray and I really dive into the discernment of all the chapters of my life, I'm sure I can come up with multiple ones of these when I prayed about this. So but this is what we're going to do, both level 1 and level 2. And number 1, we're going to write down top of our page for things we're going to contemplate and we're going to pray about in order to prepare for death. Top of the page. What have we left undone? This could be from first grade. This can be from college. This can be from a previous marriage. This can be from a dead relative. What have we left undone? Like I said, we can do this once a day. I would like you to do it at least twice this week, if you can't do it every night. This is, in my opinion, I do this once a month. I mark my calendar once a month. As a Franciscan, that's what we're called to do. Momento Mori. We're called to prepare for our death, to rid ourselves of extra goods, anything that we have, to make our baggage to where we have no baggage when we enter heaven. It's kind of cool, huh? Being a Franciscan. Somewhat. All right, so what have we left undone is number 1. Number 2 is, what have we left unsaid? Sometimes we have situations in our life where we could have said, I love you. We could have said, I'm sorry. We could have said something, we said nothing. Or we could have said, you know what? I stole that. Don't blame that person. Or we could have said, let me take care of that for you. And the other person died. Or the other person tripped and fell. What have we left unsaid? Number 2. Think about it. Meditate on it. Listen to what your heart is saying. Number 3. Whom in our life have we left unforgiven? I know we've covered the chapters before that have said, whoever you hold a grudge against here on earth, you are not allowed to come to the table to be with Christ. You must go and make it right with your brother. And a lot of us don't think about this. We don't think about, who did we not forgive from second grade, from fourth grade, from college, from marriage, from children? There are those little tiny moments that, from the bitterness of our heart, there's a little root inside of our heart that will come out when we least expect it. So I want you to think about those 3. We could all die at this very minute. And what would we regret? What would we regret about what we've left undone? What would we regret about what we left unsaid? What would we regret about whom we chose not to forgive and to hold on to that bitterness and that anger? And where's it growing? How do we root it out? How do we turn this vice to a virtue? Let's contemplate that this week. And as you uncover the secrets to your soul to exorcise these demons, make an effort to close the door forever by doing what you can to make it right. If you've already made it right, you can cross it off the list. Thank you so much for joining me here at Swords of St. Michael. I'm here to help you win the fight and win it right. And I'm hoping that this video touched something in your heart or inspired you to think or inspired you to pray. And if it did, could you please drop me a comment down below, because it helps me to interact and start conversations going. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe if you can. Thank you to my new Patreon member. Patreon members support this channel and they support the ministry for Swords of St. Michael. God bless you. God keep, and never forget. What is it? What is it I'm always saying? The battle has already been won. Thank you so much, and have an excellent week as we contemplate, what is it? Momento Mori. God bless.